You're about to get filled in. Philip Defranco has thrown his hat in the drama ring, it seems. Ethan Klein's situation got worse. The Onion bought InfoWars, Sydney Sweeney slams fake women, and more.
Beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip Defranco Show, your daily dive into the news. We have so much to talk about today. Domestic and international, big, small, political, social. But let's start with some internet controversy news. This has really started blowing up more and more. So let's talk about Ethan Klein and Hasan Piker. They're both big creators in the streaming and podcast space. They're former co-hosts. But, with this specific situation, it starts and is mainly focused on Ethan Klein, who's facing backlash again. And this time it was over a game that he played on his podcast yesterday.
Today, my friends, we are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play, is it Twitch or is it a terrorist? Let's take a look here, guys. Start.
There's more to the game, but even just that part right there alone, that faced tons of backlash. With a number of people think that it was wrong that the opening image was a side-by-side of Hasan Piker and Osama bin Laden. And in fact, at a later point in the game, you had someone from H3's team, AB, even calling that out.
I don't know who made this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hasan and Osama on the front page. They need
at least if they're going to compare them, I'll guess.
And so with all this, it appears that they were playing a game from a website called twitchorterrorist.com. And to play, you had to read quotes and guess if a Twitch streamer or a terrorist said it. And they all ended up being Twitch streamer quotes, mostly from other creators by the name of Sneeko and Myron, who've been heavily criticized for
They're not even, for the record, these guys aren't even Twitch streamers, okay? And yes, it is insane. It is insane to just put actual anti-Semites alongside people who are not anti-Semitic, but pro-Palestinian, in an effort to be see, they're all terrorists. Look at all these guys. I didn't expect you to cover this. I wouldn't have, but Philly D is covering it.
Anti-Semitism in the past for posts like these, which made its way into the game. But also,
yeah, Dan made this site, including all the other sites. Destiny's second in command. Isn't people who are pro-Palestinian just you? No, not Dan from H3 chat. What are you, crazy? No. Dan Saltman, the saltiest mother on the planet.
Included one post each from Hasan and Frogan, who's another creator Ethan's called out and feuded with in the past. But again, most ended up being from creators Sneeko and Myron, so he ended up closing the game by saying,
"You're right though, that game sucks."
It was just not enough variety. It didn't prove anything, because all the anti-Semites was just Myron and Sneeko.
And so all that happens, but then once the clips...
Damn, I can't believe that they couldn't find anti-Semitic quotes of me. Perhaps because I'm not an anti-Semite. Damn, why doesn't this have more quotes of Hasan being anti-Semitic?
Of Ethan playing the game make their way to Twitter, there was backlash everywhere, with a number of people saying things like Ethan Klein comparing a Muslim anti-war content creator to Osama bin Laden. He got other Muslim and Jewish content creators banned for calling Sabra hummus the lowest tier commercial hummus because a lot of Israelis eat it. What the actual hell? As well as Islamophobia on full display. And if Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected...
Noah Colwyn? Whoa! Whoa! I gotta text my mans, be like, yo, you made it, Noah. You made it on the Philly D. You just got filled in. Or you're doing the filling in yourself. That's crazy. That's crazy. If Ethan Klein actually cared about anti-Semitism instead of merely feeling disrespected, he would consider what it means to represent Jewish people by being a nonstop whiny bigot.
He would consider what it means to represent Jewish people by being a nonstop whiny bigot. He even had some tagging YouTube social accounts to say that they're platforming racism and hate. And we even saw Hasan Piker himself responding, saying, "My former podcast co-host misunderstood me when I said in America that anti-Semitism is institutionally unacceptable, but Islamophobia is permitted if not encouraged. Yesterday, he proved my point." While that received a lot of support, you also had some people responding to Hasan.
Yeah. How is this Islamophobic? Hasan and his friends repeat terrorist talking points. It has nothing to do with Islam. Hasan, the game is funny. All you and your friends' talking points are indistinguishable for actual terrorists. In what way can you say Islamophobia is permitted unless you believe all Muslims are terrorists? These are literally 2003. We're back in 2003. These are the most 2003-ass. Please, I need you to see one of the terrorist quotes. Please, you'll never guess who it is. The truth is that after several decades of neoliberalism, the rich are becoming increasingly richer while the poor are both more numerous and increasingly poorer. Unless you believe all Muslims are terrorists, how can you not see everyone, and Ethan in particular, is talking about? Guys, Anyway, let's continue.
By
Let's just
defending
continue.
Ethan in the game and accusing critics of misrepresenting it. But again, there was also a fair share of people echoing what Hasan said, with some also noting that this came after Ethan went on his Instagram stories to call out Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism. And Ethan ended up responding to
Which is crazy, by the way. Like, that was also crazy. Only pretending to care about anti-Semitism is wild. Like, I've stood by this man side by side, and we've dunked on anti-Semites together. You know what I mean? And anti-Semitism together. Like, what the is going on? Read his post is psychotic. I haven't even read any of this shit. Myron is an easy dunk. He makes it incredibly easy to virtue signal that you are against anti-Semitism. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would listen to his Jewish friend when he expressed his genuine concern for anti-Semitism festering in his own community. First of all, friend is wild. That's a wild thing to just drop in there after like a month of crash out post after crash out post demanding that an adpocalypse happen on Twitch because Twitch is housing Klansmen and Nazis, and that I am like an anti-Semite. That's wild to be like, oh, but I'm just your friend, your Jewish friend, which is also additionally crazy considering that I have a ton of Jewish friends. None of them agree with Ethan. What the fuck? That's insane. What? And we literally insta-ban anti-Semitism in this community. Like, I personally do it regularly. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would stop purity testing every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist, a term that has lost all meaning. 90% of Jews globally would be considered a Zionist, a term that encapsulates both religious supremacists who believe they have a mandate from God to settle in the West Bank, and every secular Reform Jew in the world who thinks Israel should continue to exist. I do not purity test every Jew based on Zionist, anti-Zionist. That is insane. I've not only never done that, I don't know why the he's even saying that I do that. What the And for the record, Zionism has not lost its meaning. If it did, I don't know why you would say that like 90% of Jews globally are considered Zionists, which I also disagree with as well. If Hasan cared about anti-Semitism, he would not hand wave away blatant Jew hatred from his friend Frogan. He would, yeah, I know. I should put Frogan in a dunk tank for doing the tier list that Raffi and themselves like put on the Arabs podcast. That was perfectly fine, and everybody understood exactly what the fuck was. Mad that Trump won, baby boy. Brother, you are probably, alongside myself, going to die of polio, and you're over here celebrating that as an accomplishment. What a stupid thing to get excited about. Like, we're all gonna die of diseases that are preventable, and this Trump gave me 200 RP to vote for him. What? dying from preventable disease to own the libs. That's it. We're collapsing the goddamn country. Anyway, Hasan cared about blatant Jew hatred from his actual friend Frogan, who would not platform uncritically a terrorist-affiliated militant who flags a curse upon the Jews, nor would he play Houthi propaganda uncritically to his audience who fly the same flag. He would not call... You know what's really funny? I've talked about the Houthis banner multiple times, which is like another part of this process that is, of course, always not repeated. But regardless, let's continue. He would not call Hasan Nasrallah a brilliant man or say he has no problem with Hezbollah, a man in his organization that has explicitly called for the genocide of Jews. Hasan, if you cared, you would read this instead of laughing about how crazy I am based on a chatter's brain dead summary of my post. I like that I addressed all of these talking points a million times over, but, you know, yeah, there it is. I read it, and it still sounds crazy. Okay? Contextualizing and offering analysis to how certain non-government organizations exist is not a de facto carte blanche defense of the way that they exist or the things that they do. Okay? That's it. Ethan doesn't know shit about these groups or the region. Their politics are as. Yeah, he's just like, whatever. Bro, it's not a summary. You look at, it's not even a summary. You look at screenshots. What? What? He's saying, read this. And I am. Criticizing Ethan saying you look at summary of chatters. What? I'm confused. Ethan literally looks for clips in the Destiny Reddit. Yeah, I know. I like that a lot of Ethan's well-sourced criticisms. A lot of Ethan's well-sourced criticisms directly come from the Destiny subreddit that he's like scoured, right? Like straightforwardly. and that is actually causing valid concerns. But considering that the Destiny subreddit is, routinely scouring my stream, I'm very familiar with the talking points. So of course, I don't even have to see it to know exactly where these valid concerns are coming from, because I've addressed it a million times over. I address it every single day. But let's continue.
Stories to call out Hasan and accuse him of only pretending to care about anti-Semitism.
Yeah, Myron's the easy
Ethan ended
done.
up responding.
Why is Hasan in a game called Twitch or Terrorist? Because he's accused of supporting terrorism by Ethan. The subreddit that's called the Dalaban, or the Twitter comms group that's called the Dalaban, or the Dezbollah. It's great. It's good stuff. Yeah, you stand accused. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. There are plenty of quotes on the site from non-Muslims. I didn't make the site. I opened it for like 2 minutes and mostly talked about how dumb it is. We immediately commented on how dumb the Osama versus Hasan comparison is. We, unless you speak of French here, is carrying a lot of the burden. I think it was AB who commented on how bad it was, and you chose to continue, but what do I know? And this game, for the record, was Islamophobic from the jump. The idea that like all of these pro-Palestinian content creators are like automatically terrorists, like it's ridiculous, okay? Bundling actual anti-Semites like Myron and Sneeko with people like myself. Also, very weird, right? And slapping terrorism as a designation on it. Also very weird. Now, a lot of other content creators on this website, Twitch, the one that is dangerously anti-Semitic, according to Ethan, that a lot of content creators, including Asmongold, have played this game. Why didn't I sharp about it then? Because what the am I supposed to do? I can't do anything about it, okay? Islamophobia is completely permitted. It's permissible. That's just the truth. Both bigotries, anti-Semitism, okay, and Islamophobia are unacceptable. They're unacceptable. That's it. And I will never accept it. And I always combat it. And I always have. And I always will. Okay? But the way that, institutions, organizations, the way they treat Islamophobia versus anti-Semitism is different. Islamophobia is broadly accepted. Now, the reason why it is because in the post 9/11 universe, America had to do a whole bunch of social conditioning to get people primed to go and destroy the Middle East. Anyway, I closed out 2 minutes, said the game was dumb because it just keeps quoting Sneeko and Myron, which doesn't prove anything. We saw why he quit the game. I don't think it was after 2 minutes. He intentionally quote retweets someone that misrepresents, lies about what's in the video, and even calls me Islamophobic for something I didn't even do. Dude, come on, man. Come on. Like, the Islamophobia stuff is not even new. Like, holy shit. It was always cringe. It was like something that I tried to communicate to him even, way back when he was like doing if you're a gay sex worker, you'd get thrown off the roofs in Gaza, to like Muslim people on the timeline. Like, get out of here. Like, this is not like a newfound thing here. Come on. What is this? Here's you explaining it. Outright Muslims and outright hostile towards Palestinians from the actual state, right? There's anti-Semitism. This is absolutely true. Anti-Semitism is a gross hate crime. It is completely unacceptable. You and I are in agreement on this. I've combated anti-Semitism nonstop for the past 10 years.
That there's any people that hear that and they think, you know what, that means no, we got to get rid of all the Israelis. Do you think there's anyone that believes that?
That we have to get rid of all of the Israeli Jews in that area?
From the river
of
to
course,
the sea.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
there are anti-Semites. There are anti-Semites in the pro-Palestinian movement.
Do you think that it could be potentially misconstrued?
Can it be potentially misconstrued? Absolutely. Anything can be misconstrued.
So
Any slogan can be misconstrued.
In consideration of all these things, if it can be misconstrued, if it is believed by people to mean it that way, then I don't think Jews are outside of their right to say, hey, this phraseology.
The phrase that we're talking about is from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free, by the way. I love HG, but going hard on you for semantics when there are literally Nazis out and about is a bit cooked. I know. And while I call out the literal Nazis that are out and about, he turns around and says, oh, that's not sufficient. You also have to recognize that I'm right and you're wrong and apologize for hurting my feelings, even though there has never been a moment in the past year until recently where I was not unimaginably gracious. Okay? This conversation itself is yet another instance where I am slowly walking him through like a baby, okay? Walking him step by step to understand something by drawing similar analogs to things that he already recognizes. He's pro Black Lives Matter. He knows what people that say all lives matter sound like and look like and what they actually mean. Okay, people misconstrue Black Lives Matter. There's an example I used literally last fucking year. Okay? But he just never, gave up on this for some reason. And it's weird. It's weird because, like, we've had these conversations. He knows what my position is. We've had them publicly. How the Anyway.
Makes me uncomfortable.
The conversation revolves around Palestinians, which, Muslims are a minority group in general, Palestinians an even smaller minority group, against Zionists, specifically Zionists who are maintaining the violent nature of the apartheid state in Israel. So in that structure, there are significantly more Zionists in America than there are Zionist Jews, and then there are anti-Zionist Jews. Zionist and anti-Zionist Jews are marginal because of the number of Jews in general on the planet, right? The much larger conversation is being had between Palestinian activists, which feature anti-Zionist Jews and anti-Zionists alike, some of which are anti-Semitic. I'm not going to say that they're not, okay? Versus the much broader, much larger Zionist community that is comprised almost entirely of Zionist evangelicals, Zionist Christians in general. That's the conversation that's being had about the state of Israel. You can criticize Saudi Arabia and do it from an Islamophobic perspective, but many people are never going to turn around and say you're being Islamophobic when you criticize Saudi Arabia. But when you criticize Israel, because the foreign ministry has maintained this position and this posture for a very long time, propped up by the likes of the ADL, this conflation is the immediate counter, and I think it's cynically deployed. In the grand scheme of things, throughout the history of Palestinian emancipation, which I will reaffirm my support for, I do believe it is just and I believe it is moral. Throughout that history, Hamas is but a mere blip. Hamas is but a mere blip, and even to this day is not has never reached broad popularity. The mantra itself predated Hamas and will continue to exist as long as there is an occupation. So having a conversation about the optics of a slogan when 11,000 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered by that same state is ridiculous to me. I think it's uncharitable.
This characterization is super unfair. I mean, you're making it sound like the concern for it has nothing to do with what the Israeli government is doing, the ethnic cleansing and murdering of Palestinians. It's got nothing to do with that. Invoking that is not fair. 57% of Gazans, by the way, and I'm not criticizing them. I understand why people would support Hamas during all this and who are in Gaza, but you say that, I mean, they have...
Yes, in 2017, Hamas changed its charter in order to gain international recognition.
It has wide support in Gaza and the West.
In 2017, Hamas changed its charter in order to maintain its civil governance factions and also gain international recognition, as had prior terror cells like the ones that you mentioned that Ben Shapiro still considers a terrorist, like Yasser Arafat, as they try to do the exact same thing. You might not believe them. I do think that there are certainly still anti-Semitic people inside of Hamas, of course, but ultimately, Palestinian people saying that... Yeah, no, he's like, not all of them. That they support violent emancipation.
You think there's Hamas people that are secular and cool and don't hate Jews?
Do I think there are Hamas militants? Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
No, that's not what I asked. I said, do you think there's Hamas?
Yeah, I do. I do believe that 100%. Yes.
People that are like chill and secular.
Like this conversation, the way he's asking this question is also, for the record, the way he's asking this question is like specifically to incite when you have a conversation, when you have an argument with someone, and I think like a lot of people from marginalized backgrounds understand this. I'm not saying I am, okay? I'm white. But when you have a conversation with someone who is just there to try to maybe not really understand fully your position, but instead hit you with some shit, okay? You are not just having a conversation with this other person. You're having a conversation with the entire world, okay? So you have to remember how everyone treats certain words and everyone treats certain concepts. Everyone looks at certain concepts and takes it for granted. Okay. So when someone like this is the reason why I can have a long discussion about the political designation of terrorism, right? And I have many times over the IRA, the FLN, the Nelson Mandela's party, MEK specifically, or not MEK, the ANC, all considered umquanto or umquante, is that how you say it? Like the spear, including the ANC, but even its more militant factions, were all designated as terror groups. Okay? They were all designated as terror groups. They were designated as terrorist groups while they were specifically engaging in an emancipatory struggle. But that conversation doesn't fucking matter in this process, okay? Because when someone goes, you're terrorists, you're supporting terrorists, you sound exactly like terrorists, a lot of people, especially when you fit the bill, if you have a scary sounding name, a lot of people are going to write you off and go, oh, well, that makes sense. So you have to deal with that as well in this conversation.
And they don't hate Jews.
Oh, 100%. Well, yeah, you can yell at me all day for that. I 100,000% believe it. There are 18, 19-year-olds. They don't know anything except bombs being blown up in their heads. That is simply a means of violent retaliation. I don't think people operate on being bad and being good. I think people operate on holy there's a bomb blowing up in my face that killed my family. I hate this state. And I'm going to join whichever faction will allow me to continue fighting against this state. Not every single person is like motivated by like cleansing every Jewish person in Israel. If that was the case, they would not have tried to make a. They would not have tried. Okay, if that was the case, they would not have tried to change their charter and become more. And recenter their posturing so that they can get international recognition. Whether it was going to happen or not is one other thing.
The original one was like insane.
Yeah.
And who the
I agree. Anyway, yeah. So we had this conversation already. It's so insane to see this jump from basically a civil conversation to Hasan as Osama bin Laden. But yeah, remember all the debate bros that love the spirit of debate, love the spirit of battle. Their takeaway from this, which was me being as gentle as possible, talking to a friend who I fear was experiencing some level of cognitive dissonance, was that I made him cry. Okay? In that same conversation at the time, he also plugged Teddy Fresh in between when I walked away. Okay? No, friend at the time, chatter, calm down. What the That was weird. My point is, the people basically looked at this and went, well, Ethan didn't make a lot of great points here, so we're just going to talk about how Hasan was a big meanie to him. Yeah.
To all this backlash himself, writing, question, why is Hasan in a game called Twitch a terrorist? Answer, because he is accused of supporting terrorism. That is the beginning and end of this analysis. Arguing that there were plenty of quotes on the site that came from non-Muslims and that he didn't even make the site himself, he only played the game on it for a few minutes. And then also saying Hasan's post about the situation was misleading and saying Hasan was accusing him of being Islamophobic for things he didn't even do. But, with
that's the funniest part about it is like, I don't know who Ethan is going to convince that he's not being Islamophobic when I think... this is not a conversation that has taken that much space in this process, but like, come on, dude. Like, okay. I mean, the community that made that website is Destiny's community, and Destiny is an open Islamophobe. He's like proud of it. He says he is. They've moved past that on the Reddit talking point where they openly say that they are. They're like, oh, they're criticizing a religion. I'm against all religions. But yeah, it wasn't Dan who made it, but a Destiny Discord, Decuck Discord mod. What is this? Sticks sick stuff out there.
Front page. They need a.
What is this? Here's some emails, an example template. It's preferred if you deviate from it as much as possible. Subject, urgent concern regarding upcoming appearance with Hasan Piker, and then a whole bunch of emails. Dear CNN, I'm writing to bring an urgent concern to your attention regarding an upcoming appearance scheduled with Hasan Piker. It has come to my attention that Hasan Piker is known for promoting anti-Semitic views and expressing support for terrorism-related activities. Oh, bro, please get a job, brother. Get a job, dog. That's crazy. They have brigading email templates, man. They have one for the DNC execs. Oh yeah, there was another. Hold on. There was another thing. I remember. What was it? There was that JSTLK guy who was like literally sending fake to the DNC. This is probably what they sent to the USC too, right? Yeah. 27,000 emails to the USC deans to try to stop me from speaking on campus. The box text is code to spam email. They're using bots. Yeah. Are they even trying to combat anti-Semitism while they accuse you of anti-Semitism? No, they don't. They're not combating anti-Semitism. If they were, they would be combating themselves. I like that they also, these guys claim they're not obsessed with you. They have an entire Discord server dedicated to this shit. But also, I remember when I was at the DNC, JSTLK, one of Destiny's orbiters, was openly admitting that he was sending fake messages and that they concocted specifically to the DNC. And they're like, yeah, I don't give a that it's fake. Who cares? Like, just, cause some commotion. Oh, here it is. This is the one. I found it.
Dude, could you imagine? Hold on. Okay. Nobody's watching this, okay? But we need this psyop, okay? I need somebody to go and show, all right? Like text messages with somebody at the we need to fake text messages, okay? From a DGGer to the DNC that's just saying like, hey, Hasan Piker was saying this at the DNC. Okay, we don't actually need it doesn't need to be real. Just needs to be convincing fake DMs, okay? Of you DMing somebody at the DNC. Go to LinkedIn, find somebody who could make decisions, okay? Fake DMs with them, okay? Fake the DMs of you saying, here's the clip of him saying this shit, all right? Here's the clip of him. No. It's a joke, guys. We don't actually, I'm saying that just to fuck them, okay? So you fake the DMs. You fake the DMs of you reporting his Israel clip, his rudeness to the hostages, to the DNC, and them saying, oh, maybe it's not appropriate, he's here the next day, okay? And then when he's going to leave, also say, hey, I'm watching his stream, you didn't take his press credentials away, okay?
Yeah, this is like shit that had already happened at this point, and he was like trying to meme, like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make like fake messages back and forth to have a fun little, to take credit for it, basically.
Make it believable. Make it believable, and we'll tweet it out, all right? I'm telling you that this will make him one official new account and one DGG report.
Look at the level of obsession, dude. Why would you want to stream this? Dude, it's unbelievable, the level of... So they did get you kicked out? No, they didn't. They wanted to take ownership over it, to be like, we did it. We were the ones who got him kicked out or whatever.
Reporting it. Well, maybe, okay? I'm just saying that...
this person's username on Kick is Hasan Abi. Like, that's psychotic, man.
If we have these things and somebody posts them, you don't even need that. You need you need somebody posting it to what you need. Maybe this is what you mean, okay? Tom Pinion, ex-girlfriend. Maybe this is what you mean, is we need somebody... I will retweet this, but it'll be somebody who posts it in the community and says, look.
Bro, this is literally just like maximum stalker shit. He's taking credit for shit like his internet troll ISIS. Why are these dudes so weird? Well, just a reminder that this dude straight up said that it was up his real life experiences that he couldn't stop himself from saying the N-word in and around like normal people. Like, they had a long back and forth about like the ethics of saying the N-word, and how it was actually ruining his life because he just kept accidentally having to say it and didn't want to in the real world. even though he was perfectly fine saying it online, and he did in that conversation.
Look, I got Hasan kicked out from the DNC, okay? And then I'll retweet it and I'll say, holy shit, this is hilarious, okay? I'm telling you, it'll be... it will be very funny. Think Tom will cover this? Which Tom? Turkey Tom? Maybe Turkey Tom.
Yeah, they have like all of their orbiters too that are like in the YouTube commentary sphere that are Keemstar aligned that will just like lap up any kind of like anti-Hasan and cover it with the utmost sincerity. Like this is the most important thing that has happened.
I think he was covering some other Hasan stuff on Twitter. I need to start using Twitter again. I haven't been using it enough. But I'm just telling you that this would be so funny. You still want the clip of Hasan fighting with a pro? I do, yes. So I will watch that in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay? I wasn't sure I wanted to... Listen, I get a little sad streaming sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then we get to watch some Hasan content, and I remember that this is my passion, okay?
Oh, man. I'm telling you right now, brother, when I say this shit is insane, okay? When I say this shit is like legitimately sad,
Funny.
this is what I mean.
You still want the clip of Hasan fighting with a pro? I do, yes. So I will watch that in a second. Sorry, I forgot. This is my true passion in life, is just A-logging Hasan being unhinged, okay?
What does A-logging mean? I don't even know what that means.
Wasn't sure I wanted to... Listen, I get a little sad streaming sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then we get to watch some Hasan content, and I remember that this is my passion, okay?
Is a 4chan
this is where
term?
I want to be. This is everything I want in life, is right here, right now. All right? Bro. This...
A term used to describe one's expressing disproportionate levels of hatred for someone, often including wishing them physical harm, usually for perceived crimes, in air quotes, that they are guilty, in air quotes, of. The question I have always is like, why would you reveal that? You know what I mean? If like that is your legitimate point of view, why would you ever reveal that? Like, how hugboxed are you? How echo chambered are you into thinking that like, nah, this is fire. Like I'm going to admit to every single person that's watching right now that I would probably kill myself if it wasn't for the fact that I have a hyperfixation on a content creator who didn't even know I existed until this very moment. From 4chan site, A-logging is a term used to describe the act of overplaying or exaggerating the negative traits of someone lulzy at irrational levels. What's so shocking about this incredibly pathetic display of someone voluntarily revealing that they are basically not fully human. You know, they've just lost their humanity in this process, and they're simply an instrument of another content creator's will. Okay. What's so crazy about it is that it has not worked. So I think like in that process, they just get even more angry. You know, that's what's so crazy about it. I feel bad for them too, chatter. That's not even a joke. I do. Might be weird to say this, but this makes me feel bad for him, them. I agree. I do too. They'll never believe me when I say this, but yeah, I do. Like doing this stuff is crazy. Here's some recent articles. A congressional letter from Congressman Rishi Torres is discussing Hasan Piker's views. If you would like any additional details, specific information about this content creator's past statements and affiliations, like they're like, oh, we found a new way to relive the glory days of Gamergate is what these guys are doing. To be continued. What is this? Okay, within minutes, folks. I need someone to find clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. This might have some helpful things from the article. Biden shouldn't expect any little support Hasan Piker offered last time. They're probably in here watching right now, by the way. Like a couple thousand of them. Definitely in here right now. Very excited at the prospect of, you know, getting noticed. And apparently, I guess like what Ethan was DMing this guy. I'm sure I could find something about that. I'm not back to digging for stuff until Friday. Twitch bans Israel. That's the name in the Discord server. I'm sure I can find something about that. And chair stream gotta wait now. Okay, within minutes, folks. I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. Give me what you can. On Wednesday's episode, Ethan reviewed several clips of Hasan's content. Several times throughout the episode, he started texting with someone, and it appears they were sending him links. What the fuck?
There was an influence he had on them. It was to not vote. Could be wrong. And maybe I
haven't heard that from him.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen so many clips. I've seen so many clips.
I'll
pull them. Sorry, I'm catching up on
Sounds like Ethan used clips of Hasan encouraging people not to vote.
something.
He's actually saying.
Here, I don't know. Pull this video up. I don't know if it's good or not.
It's the Spriggs guy. Ethan Klein was messaging. The Spriggs guy made the logo for that terrorist site. I heard Reddit nerds echoing this talking point. Yeah, I mean, Reddit is endlessly brigadeable. So there's not much you can do, especially if it's like, if you're brigading in a pro-Israel kind of way. Holy shit, go look at world news, you know what I mean? They use bots to scrape every single message from Twitch chat and Discord. They have guides on their sites on how to download the VODs to scrape the logs and clip out of context. That is the reason why I originally made the VODs. That is the reason why I originally paywalled the VODs for subscriptions. Because I was like, if you're going to do all that, might as well give me some money for it, bitch. But a lot of people in my community were like, well, I rely on the VODs to keep up. So I was like, you know what? You know, I'll take it. It's all good. Maybe it's time to get some restraining orders. There is nothing you can do to cyber harassment. There's nothing you can do about it. There is no apt legislation to stop something like this from happening. Just so you understand, it does not exist. Okay? Yeah, they have a Hustler U for basically slandering me. I think it's time for their Discord to get nuked. Yeah, I don't know why Discord allows them to do this kind of insane brigading and harassment campaigns. I think Ethan realizes that the hate D community has for you is so unhinged, so he's afraid to admit using them to further his own campaign. It seems like even Ethan wants to not hurt his credible attacks on you and admit he's using that community to find avenues to attack you. Yeah, well, you know, I think part of that is... Hold on. Doors open. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why Discord allows that kind of shit to fly, but so does Reddit, really. Oh my God, you called it? Let's go. Asmon goes on it now. Give me what you got if you can. From Destiny's community, 2 white millionaires argue. What? Destiny's mods originally asked for a clip of Hasan discouraging people from voting. 3:55 p.m. Pacific. Someone sends the Destiny mod this post. Back to the H3 podcast a few minutes later.
This week of the election or something.
This one's recent. Let's see what this one is. What this fucking
I like that the crew's like, come on, let's speak of the election, please. And he's like, no, we have to speak on Hasan, who does not vote for sure and tells people not to vote. 3:57 p.m. PST. Look at the copy on the bottom left of the screen.
And all the efforts.
Oh, 2 white millionaires argue that voting. Oh yeah, it's directly from Reddit. Wow, what a crazy coincidence. Surely that didn't happen again, right?
No stone unturned here.
Dude, the answer is here. The proof is right here in the pudding, and we're about to taste the pudding. Can you send? I just sent another clip.
Okay, within minutes from the article. Wait, this is the same one. Destiny's mod requests examples of Hasan discouraging people from voting again at 4:06. Okay, within minutes, I need to find some clips of Hasan discouraging people from voting. Someone provides the clips titled, Hasan is asked when he will endorse Kamala. By the way, I'm willing to bet that that's probably a gray name sock account that was also asking that too.
Here's another one I got. While you guys look for that.
Fighting for a brighter future may be hard work.
Again, look at the title of the video on the bottom of the screen. Endorsing this ticket. I mean, when I see some momentum on Gaza. By the way, in that clip, you want to know what's funny? I think in that clip, I literally talk about how if Kamala Harris actually changes trajectory on Gaza, I would start my door knocking operation tomorrow. That very same clip that they're using. Ethan is in direct contact with people who are creating these websites, doxing and sending mass emails. It was wild. Ethan kept looking for a video of you encouraging not to vote. When it didn't work, he would try to find another one. 3 different videos. Yeah. And it's ironic because I think the day prior to that, prior to the election, I quite literally voted on stream. And I have always urged people to vote. Always. Ethan is the kind of guy that if he hates you, he really hates you, and given enough time, he can convince himself to hate anyone and anything. Yeah, look, my point is, I hope that Ethan can, you know, maybe take a step back from this stuff. And it's not because I'm like genuinely fearful that he is exposing my secret anti-Semitism or some shit that he's gonna assume I'm saying. I wish him well, just like I wish all of those other haters well. You know what I mean? Including that one guy who's like, my entire life's purpose is to basically, what is it? A-logging Hasan. I want everyone to be healthy. I want everyone to have a good life. Okay, regardless. I guess that's the difference. This even includes Destiny, by the way. Like, I think that he would be an infinitely happier person if he didn't constantly get in his own way, right? Like, for example,
And
here, I'm going to show you my attitude, and then I'm going to show you his attitude.
And yeah, when I found out, I was like, yeah, you should keep doing this.
Wait, no, not this. Hold on. This is what I was going to show you. Here. This.
I guess my first question is going to be, do you really think Hasan and Mike from PA should kill themselves?
I wish they would. Yes.
Do you think that's at all a harmful statement to make that goes against, I don't know, just objective morality?
No, I think their deaths by suicide would make the world a safer place for more people.
Problem is, like what you said, they make money out of this outside the pleasure they get of this. Yeah.
But you...
Like, you have a kid, man. You have a child. Like, go take care of your kid. What the f***? This is obviously not good for you. Like, why? Why are you festering in your own anger and resentment and envy? The drama is definitely profitable. I think that's a key point around this stuff, for sure. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the problem. While the drama is profitable, okay? While the drama is profitable, and I'm sure Asmongold is going to cover what Destiny said here about me and Mike from PA anytime, any day. I'm waiting on it. I'm sure when Asmongold catches wind of this clip, he's going to be very upset, and he's going to denounce Destiny and be like, we got to stop that. Just like, you know, the thing I was trying to say is that while this, okay, while this right here, okay, is I mean, and I don't give a shit for the record. While this right here might be profitable, okay, it's robbing you of your soul, okay? This level of hatred and toxicity, unironically, and not just for Destiny himself, but for his entire community, is unhealthy. This level of pathological obsession is unhealthy. Straight up. Working so hard to tear someone down may get you money in the short term, but it's corrosive. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. D lost a debate to Mike on the most basic shit of all time like 6 years ago and still holds on to this anger. Yeah. The technique is common, okay? If he feels embarrassed or slighted by you, and it hurts his like narcissistic ego, he will never let you forgive it, or he will never let you forget it, and he will make your life living hell permanently. He will always try to lolcow you and bully you and attack you and use his community, who is willing participants in this process, forever. There's a reason why so many people that have encountered Destiny who aren't still firmly within his orbit, never to get larger than him, mind you, because God forbid that would be terrifying, are always victim to the same kind of cyber stalking and cyber harassment campaigns. Always looking at why other people are responsible for their favorite internet debate god being perceived as someone who is fucking gross. Okay? It's this kind of shit, man. That's it. It's literally the burning bridge joke for them. They wait for it and hope for it so they can go off and start harassing people. Yeah, it's a community that is entirely built around just like tackling his fucking enemies for him. And it's ironic that like most people don't even touch it. Like most people don't even bother to turn Destiny into a lolcow when he is a fucking target-rich environment for such an activity. 2-time divorce champion, constantly having a hard time like keeping up relationships with people because he's so fucking gross, rapacious little nerd, But the real reason why most people don't even bother to fucking lolcow him in this way is because they don't even want to deal with the repercussions, drawing the ire of his community. That's it. Why are you projecting so much? Yes, brother, I'm projecting. There's not much else you can do in this process. Like a lot of these dudes, and many of them are in here right now, are straight up like they're straight up delusional. Like they will genuinely repeat the most delusional shit. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you're obsessed. You're obsessed with him." It's like, come on, brother. Just key search Destiny in my fucking YouTube or my Discord, and then key search Hasan in his, and you will understand who's actually fucking pathologically obsessed with the other person. And by the way, 2011 account, I know your ass is not 14 years old. You're fighting as a grown-ass man, another grown-ass man's battles, okay? In air quotes, fighting. Yes, you're going to destroy me in the marketplace of ideas with debate. Ay, ay, ay. Lol, just did the key search and it's fucking wild how many Hasan vids he has. Yes. You know what's interesting is that Destiny's community was trying this before the Israel shit, and Ethan recognized it and saw how insane it was. Interesting he joined them when they confirmed his own biases. Yeah. Like him on Dr. K basically explains why in his communities like that is so sad. I get why D was ignored all the time now on stream. Fucking wild behavior from that community. The craziest part is, despite my best attempts of ignoring and hoping that like he will find some success in his life and fucking move on, he never did. This has been ongoing for 5 fucking years. And it's hilarious because it leads to shit like, yeah, Ludwig barely talked about him. His community swarmed him. Weird behavior on their part. They fucking hate Ludwig now. And they were trying to debate Ludwig on how their favorite internet debate lord's vibes were unparalleled and unmatched. Like, think about that, man. What are you doing? Like, you're trying to debate somebody else on fucking vibes? You didn't even you weren't there. You don't know what his own personal feelings on the matter are. Like, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? Yeah, cheeseball gate. Yeah, or whatever the fuck it was. How the fuck are you going to hate on the human equivalent of a goddamn golden retriever, dude? That's insane to me, okay? Ludwig is like mathematically the least hateable person. That's crazy. Like, being like, no, I hate him because he's Hasan's a bitch boy. Hasan is like mind controlling him. Yeah, not to mention how we talked about Cutie or Slime. It's just all toxicity all the way down, you know?
With all that said, I do have to pass the question off to you, though. I do want to segment this. Like, for the more general audience, I'd love to know your thoughts here specifically, right? Because this is just one chapter in a much larger saga of a fallout. But then also separately, for people that are a part of either of these communities, right? The H3 community.
D has decided that his entire existence is a calculated facade and that outrages him because he can't believe he exists sincerely. Huh?
The Hasan Piker community. There was some overlap for a while. I don't know how much exists now. What's your take on this whole situation, including where we are right now? And then
I go to the comments and everyone's talking about the Onion buying the InfoWars. All right. Your video on that drama is excellent and still relevant. Oh, yeah. This was so funny, dude. Destiny's community is insane. Ludwig said Destiny's vibes were off and Destiny's community made a whole documentary about the situation. Like, you can't operate like that, man. You can't fucking operate like that. That's not good for you, big dog. I promise that's not good for you. They made a fucking documentary about it. Anyway, I'm a stash hater, but the stash with the light beard looks killer. Thank you.